So welcome back to the World Tour of Meditation. Thank you so much, Kristen, for joining us for this How Do We Navigate These Times Right Now at
I know, it's incredible. I mean, the last time we spoke, it wasn't that long ago, but it feels like another universe
Yeah,
ago.
absolutely.
It was a total world.
Are there any ways in which you've been teaching meditation differently now since all of this happened?
Absolutely. I've been doing online meditations, free online meditations twice a week. And it's been actually really, I had no idea when I started it what it was. I'd never taught or done any kind of group meditations online. And it's fascinating. Not only does it seem to work really well, but I'm able to have students and just people who I've never met before come in from England, Mexico, South Africa, kind of like this global community, which is very different from my local in-person teaching. Mm. But it's been great that the people seem comfortable with asking questions, and the group meditations are particularly powerful, even though we're not in the same room.
How does that work? The group meditations are so powerful even when you're not in the same room.
It's interesting. I think because we're all in a group, consciousness is at its most subtle levels is not bound by space or time. So the fact that we're far apart with distance doesn't seem to be affecting the efficacy of feeling that group dive. And I don't know, I would have, had you asked me before this, I would have said like, oh, I don't know if it would work, because we're not in proximity, but it seems to have, so.
That's wonderful. That's kind of fun too, because like this whole show started off with a purpose of debunking myths around meditation. Right. So it seems fun that like something you've thought has also been shifted by this whole corona.
A lot of what I've thought has been shifted by this.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about the teaching of meditation, or any tips that people might be able to use right now?
I think mostly just to find, I know it's hard to find resources to learn meditations. For example, like my style has to be taught in person. So, those who want to learn a dedicated style like this need to wait a little bit. However, it's any type of going within and finding your inner voice in this time is very beneficial. And we need to meditate not just to release our own personal stress in this situation, but it's also helping the collective. It's also helping, all this is happening because there's stagnation and things that need changing. Evolution needs to happen. And so if we can meditate, we are speeding up our own personal evolution as well as the evolution of everything. So it's almost like adding grease to the wheels of evolution to help us have a smoother transition through this time.
So talk to me about the importance or the relationship between finding our own personal voice in the context of what's happening in the collective and evolution.
So a lot of people right now are feeling like they want to do something. We're all at home and they're like, I want to get productive. I want to do things. And, some people really want to do things in order to help. But really what we're being called to do right now is to go within. We're literally going within our homes. We're going with, we have to let go of this idea of the constant needing to produce, because many of us identify with that, with doing. We identify with our actions. Mm. And really by being forced to go within our own homes and really quiet down, when we quiet down, we can hear our inner voice, which is going to tell us what the most relevant action is when it comes time to do action. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense to me, because I've been experiencing that all the time in the last particularly few weeks. Can you give us an example of something you've actually experienced in this context in your own life?
Well, for me, it's been interesting because when this first started happening, I had all this intuition to write and to help, and I was really, my energy was going outwards. And it suddenly, all of a sudden, it was like a vacuum. It got pulled in. And it was like I almost couldn't write anymore. I couldn't do anything. And I really wanted to, because I really wanted to help. But then finally I was like, you know what? No, my intuition is telling me it's time for me to go within. And so I pretty much just stopped pitching articles. I stopped doing anything more than my group meditations. And I really started focusing on making sure I got lots of rest, making sure I got lots of meditations in, and just putting attention on me and my immediate family for now. And it seems like, I'm now okay with it. I had a little moment of not being okay with it, of resisting it. And I've since let that go.
That's a beautiful example. What I loved a lot about it, but one of the things that jumped out to me in what you just shared with us, thank you, was how you said earlier about how now is a good time to find our voice. Mm-hmm. That people, I don't know, I often think of finding your voice as writing, but here you just shared with us an example of how finding your voice could actually be letting that go and actually going in.
I believe finding your voice is what that means, is finding that the thoughts that are coming from that place of being.
Can you repeat that?
So it's that ocean of
Sorry,
that ocean of self will give us indications. Are we unstable? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. Is it good? Okay, good.
Yes, good.
I was just saying, your intuition is that inner voice. Okay, good. It's coming from that state of being, the ocean of self. We have a lot of thoughts that come from our stress and come from our wave. I want to have like a fifth piece of chocolate cake. Like that's not your intuition talking, but that intuition that comes up that gives you that sense of direction. And it's not often a thought. Sometimes it's just a feeling of charm or aversion. Mm-hmm. And that you can only hear if you get really quiet and meditate. And so it's not always writing. It can be anything. It can be any next right action. It can be, you need to, buy a new car. You need to go to the grocery store. It could be something as a non-action. Like I was saying, it could be, you need to just not do anything right now. You need to rest. Because often, if we're feeling this call for rest, we don't know what our immune systems are fighting right now. We don't know, what's going on within our own bodies. So it's really important to heed that if we're feeling that we don't really want to go out in the world right now. Yeah. I feel like it's, Mother Nature is healing itself right now and is trying to get us out of the way.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And also we get the chance to heal ourselves by listening to our own inner nature.
Exactly.
What you said just totally resonates with me. Like the number of times recently I've been like listening to the inner voice and thinking, oh, okay, do nothing. Like, I think I should go write some emails. I think I should go record an interview. I think I should go make a video or something, but
right.
It's just, no, actually just go lie down in bed and do nothing for like an hour.
What's amazing is, because meditation is just, it's like rest on steroids. What we're doing is like power rest. And the ironic thing is meditation in many ways is probably the most productive time you have all day, because when you meditate, you come out of it and you're so much more clear about what you need to do. You have so much more energy. So really, in order to be effective in the field of action, we need to prioritize rest. And our culture doesn't prioritize rest at all. It doesn't even acknowledge it, much less prioritize it. So this whole happening is really a big call to rest in many ways. And we need to be okay with, maybe taking a few days and not returning emails right away, and just sitting and not even like getting our houses clean or, whatever it is that we feel like we need to do to be okay. We can just be for once. We don't know how to be. And hopefully this will help teach us how to be.
That's a powerful message.
Thanks. I didn't come up with it.
Anything that would help someone who's listening to this remember how to be. Like I could imagine listening to this and maybe almost feeling like my heart rate spike up, or almost feeling slightly anxious at the thought of actually not going and folding my laundry, or not going and doing or not figuring out the legal aspects, like all the things that have been sitting on the back burner, right?
Right.
And to actually like, when I hear you say, just go be, I can imagine that being slightly stressful.
It is a little stressful because we're so used to having that to-do list kind of rule our lives, but that to-do list never really ends. And so if we, we have this idea that we're at the end of it, we can finally relax, that we can be at the end of all our tasks. But the being happens right now. And if you can access that being in meditation, you bring that being into all those tasks and actions. So, we can't think our way to being. A lot of people try and just sit there and like be present. You can't think your way to that state of being. It must be allowed. And that's why we meditate. It's allowing that state of being to happen. And so whatever vehicle people use, whether it's a mantra, like in my tradition, we use that to get our individuality out of the way so that nature can kind of take over and let us just be in that time. And the more you meditate, the more you're able to take that state of being into the action field. So it shouldn't be, I know it can be anxiety producing for people who just can't sit down with themselves for 5 seconds. And people who think that meditating means that they have to clear their mind, when really there's no way to do that by thinking your way to a clear mind. That doesn't happen. But meditating actually it teaches you how to just be. And to the point, like, I love meditating. It's so enjoyable for me. Usually my husband and I are fighting over who gets to go in the room and meditate. So it should be an enjoyable experience. If it's not enjoyable, you need to be taught.
And where can people, if this resonated with them, learn more from you? You mentioned you brought a lot of your classes online and they're still effective and working well, and you have your people around the world.
On my classes, you can find the times I always update on my Instagram feed. So I'm doing them Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Wednesday evenings, 6 p.m. With the exception of Easter Sunday. I'm going to move that one. But other than that, it's always Sunday morning, 10, Wednesday evening, 6 Pacific time. And the Zoom is 810-108-1008. It's very Vedic. The password is 108-108. So those are the
Did you pick
those? Yes, I did pick it. No, it wasn't random. I picked them. Wow. If that was given to me, I would be like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God. I'm already, oh my God. Can you repeat those numbers?
Yeah, it's 810-108-1008, password 108-108. And my Instagram, you can find me on Instagram at Meditation Without Borders or the Vedic Method, either one. And the updates for those are on there. And I also have a partner with Meditation Without Borders who is doing Spanish group meditations. And her name is Isabel Kiosayan, and she's so her information is on the Meditation Without Borders Instagram as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Kristen. Anything else you want to add to this little add-on?
I just hope everyone stays safe and sane and healthy. And I really look forward to when this period of destruction finally resolves itself. We're going to go into a period of creation that I think will be unlike anyone has seen in our lifetimes. And I'm looking forward to that.
I get chills when you say that.
I'm excited. You're already creating, Daksha, so you're already in it.
Thanks, which is why I extra need to remember the rest moments.
Exactly.
Which is why I'm like, actually when all of this hit and it seemed like a lot of people suddenly had all this free time-ish, I was kind of like, oh my God, I haven't been this busy in my life before.
Exactly. I know. I felt that too.
I meditated for the last 29 years and now suddenly I'm like, okay, let me do.
Yeah. I'm like, where's my Netflix binge? When is that going to happen?
Well, thank you, Kristen. Stop the recording.
Thank you so much.